Duma Boko is the official new president of Botswana. And he's just not the new president of Botswana. He's the trending African president at the moment. And also Botswana is actually a country that people have now started Googling just to check information about it. One is because they've elected Duma Boko as a president. Two, their swearing-in ceremony took, it was just in an office setup. It was a court with, I think, less than 20 people, no fanfare, no invitation of other presidents and ambassadors and people from, delegates from everywhere. It was a thing that was done, and it showed the simplicity. Three, Duma became the first president to kick off a president or a party that has been in power for over 50 years. So his party, or the coalition that he ran with, is now in power after a party that has existed in power for over 50 years. See why that was important and big? Yeah, now, and Africans are in shock and surprise and amazement that a transition can happen so smoothly without, issues, considering what is happening in Mozambique. Again, the elections happen, and then there's issues of post-election happening, and there's issues about the results. But Botswana, well done. Congratulations to President Duma. And as you do that, I hope you keep your promise to the people of Botswana of not disappointing, neither failing. Super proud of you as a Kenyan. So the 54-year-old Duma Boko is the newly elected president, and he made history as the first opposition candidate to win an election in Botswana. Imagine, in 58 years, no opposition candidate has ever won. Like, they've had this ruling party that has been in power for 58 years. But the most interesting is that the president who was in power, the outgoing, or the previous, now that he's not outgoing, he's already done, he's only done one term. Kenyans, are we together? Can we relate? Yeah, the people of Botswana were tired with his style of leadership and what he was doing. And they said, you know what? One term is enough, get going. And I think East Africa needs to learn a lesson. We've had presidents our brothers in Uganda, since I think 1986. Kenya, a reminder, a president doesn't have to be in power for 2 terms for him to make sense, yeah? Let's learn from Botswana. So in his first speech, President Duma Boko said that he dare not fail or disappoint his people. This was very amazing to hear. And I'm hoping, because we've had words with presidents before and then they failed to do what they did, I hope he lives to implement what he desired. And for more than 50 years, the opposition politicians have dreamt of unseating the mighty Botswana Democratic Party. That has been the party that has ruled. These are equally like the ANC party. Like, they're all the parties that have existed forever and ruled like forever. But only Boko has made that a reality. So the crushing manner of victory of his umbrella, which was of the coalition they used, which is called Umbrella for Democratic Change, UDC party, it came as a surprise for the people, for him, and he actually admitted being shocked by the numbers. Like, he didn't expect he would win with such, huge numbers and maybe have so many supporters, people voting for him. So Duma Boko is a lawyer by profession. He was sworn in as a president on the 1st of November, 2024. That's just the other day. He's in a week in as president, and we are watching to see what you're doing, President Duma. All eyes are on you. So President Duma Boko has immediately swung into action and has vowed to reclaim 50% of diamond sales agreement for Botswana, and this has come as a shock to many. Now, let me just tell you this. If you didn't know, Botswana is one of the countries that has the biggest number of diamonds in terms of resources. So this is their biggest resource. And with this resource, they've actually managed, in Botswana, people are paid to go to school. Like, you're paid to go to university, your education is paid for, and on top of that, you have money for you to keep going, which is really amazing. So why he's negotiating for these deals on the diamond sales is because they've not really been benefiting from this with the company they've worked with, and so they're trying to negotiate for higher higher gains for Botswana as a country. So President Duma Boko announced his intent to expedite negotiations for a new diamond sales agreement with De Beers, which is actually the company that operates in Botswana, and actually it's one of the world's largest diamond miners. So, and all eyes are on him to see if this bold move to restructure the diamond industry will be implemented, and if it will be enough to reverse Botswana's economic slump, as the nation has been grappling with an unprecedented collapse in the diamond market. Really, you see what shocks me about Africa. Countries have the best of resources, but because they do not have the means to mine, people come, companies, especially Western companies come, establish themselves as the people who operate or run those mines, and then now dictate how those mines will, in terms of value, how much value a country gets. And you end up having Africa gain very minute because we export raw and then we import. Like you see, they export gold and probably unprocessed, and then when it comes back, they have to buy, which is quite an expense. So I'm hoping because the diamonds are big, it's a key pillar of Botswana's economy. I hope this thing can be redone and reverse their economy. So De Beers is a division of the Anglo-American mining giant and had previously agreed to a principal diamond sales agreement that would see Botswana's share of profits from their the joint company called the Botswana Venture increase to over 50% in the next decade. So currently, the Botswana, which is jointly owned by De Beers and the Botswana government, channels 75% of its diamond output to De Beers. So you can imagine it's an agreement between these two, but 75% goes to De Beers, which is like the mother company, which is the key miner, which is a Western company. So yet the proposed sales pact has not been finalized, and with a change of government, hopefully it will be something that shall come to pass. So, and this delay, President Boko says that it could risk Botswana's economic stability. So Botswana does not want to lose the agreement, but they are hopeful that they find a way to work out so that they don't lose. So with De Beers reportedly reconsidering the deal, could Botswana's lifeline be splitting through its fingers? Maybe yes, maybe no. Maybe it's about time Botswana's rethink how they operate. But anyway, it's a thing maybe the president is in a better position to say. So President Boko expressed concerns that previous negotiations by the outgoing government had jeopardized relations with De Beers, which is the main company, emphasizing the need for immediate engagement to prevent any further fallout. So the diamond sale agreement hangs even as unemployment and crime rates soar, and the pressure is on President Boko to stabilize the country and secure a future for its people. And before Duma became president, he had actually ran twice and lost. That's in 2014 and 2019 under the alliance, and in both instances, he lost, and he lost to the Botswana Democratic Party, the party that has been in existence or has been running the country for over 50 years. So after losing, he ended up serving as the leader of opposition in the National Assembly from 2014 to 2019. And in 2019, he lost because he lost his parliamentary seat. So President Duma Boko studied law at the University of Botswana in 1987. And at the time, he was actually selected as the Student Representative Council, what they call as SRC. I know for Kenyans, SRC has a different meaning, but this was for Botswana, it's Student Representative Council. So after graduating in 1993, he attended the prestigious law school, that's Harvard, where he went and obtained a Master's of Law, a law's degree. And of course, after that, he came back to Botswana and practiced. And he had been practicing law from 1993 to 2003. And during this period, he also taught and at the university, and also was running his law firm. So at some point in the early 2000, Boko wrote a newspaper column in the Monitor newspaper, And this column did not sit well with a majority of the people, or the people in the academia also. And this is because he claimed that judges were not intellectually progressive, and he expressed frustration that academics and judges were not doing enough research to make informed judgments. So basically, he attacked the judiciary and the academia world, and people are not happy about this. But with time, I think they accepted, because he had experience from both worlds. He had been teaching, so he had the background information, and he was a practicing lawyer, so maybe he had information about it. And if these things didn't actually affect the way people are voting, it means people agreed with him, sort of. So President Duma again came under fire again after that time, over a decade ago, when he described the academic staff at the University of Botswana as useless, despite being a former lecturer. I tend to think there must be something he experienced while teaching there, that when he stepped out, he looked at and he was like, you know what, these guys are just useless. And it's, imagine, the people teaching at the university are professors. So imagine someone claiming professors are useless. Leaves a lot to be desired. But anyway, maybe he had a reason, and maybe sometimes actually professors may be useless if they are not meeting the academic needs that are supposed to be met for a country, because the academia world changes a country, so maybe there was a reason. So many people took this as a dig at the country's education system, which I understand, because if you feel an education system is not working for you, why would you insist? Like, we have a system in Kenya at the moment called the CBC, which a lot of people have been complaining, and they keep pushing it, and they're not making the changes that are necessary. I mean, if it's not helping, then end it. Anyway, that's just besides the point. So when he was confronted about this whole idea of attacking the academia world, he said, and this question came from a South African journalist, he actually said, the truth hurts, and that was it. So this man, from the way he's been speaking along, I think he was destined to be a president. I have a feeling like, for someone to take such stance, it means that man is confident enough and knowledgeable enough to think through situations. And although the way he answered some of those questions maybe was a bit, okay, maybe it was actually the right thing. Just say, if the truth hurts, and move on. So it ensures you don't argue. So maybe for President Duma, that was something he felt needed to come out. So anyway, Duma Boko then ascended into presidency under an alliance of opposition parties in Botswana, which is called the Umbrella for Democratic Change, which he's been leading since 2012. The ruling party in Botswana, politicians need to learn. And if the American election is anything to go by, and, we are seeing what is happening across the world, and even Kenyan politicians, I believe, need to learn. The ruling party in Botswana got only 4 seats, like 1, 2, 3, 4 in the election. This was a total defeat that was caused, some say was caused by the former president, Ian Khama, who acrimoniously parted ways with the losing candidate, Masisi, and this split the BDV vote, enabling the opposition to win. It doesn't matter which direction you take. If the people are not satisfied with your leadership, even if you're supported, I don't know by who. I mean, we've seen it with Kamala. I was supporting Kamala in the election. She had the Obamas, she had Beyonce, she had Taylor Swift, and everyone coming through for her. But the leadership of Biden has cost Kamala a loss, or the Democrats. And Trump has won that election. So this is a message to even fellow leaders, irrespective of who supports you or comes through for you. If the people who are the supreme are not happy with your leadership, it doesn't end well. Learn from Botswana. And what fascinated me actually after this election was the efficiency involved in the swearing in. I mean, it was just in a court, few guests, government officials, with no extravagant fanfare, no celebrations, no inviting, I don't know, we have the president of Uganda, Rwanda, wherever, the ambassadors, no budget spent on that. I mean, there's a budget, yes, involved, but it's a very minimal budget. I mean, Kenya, again, do we have to spend all those millions just to swear in someone? Is it worth it to spend billions to swear in someone when people are dying because they can't have dialysis, when SHIF is not working, when, I don't know, a university funding model is not working. Is it worth? Let's think through and shift our priorities to what really matters. And again, leaders, I will have to remind you, only 4 of the previous ruling party members went back to that parliament. So I hope you're learning. Former Botswana President Ian Khama attributed President Masisi's election loss to putting self-interest before national interest. And in an interview, he said they became extremely greedy and corrupt. They neglected the people. They had no people-centered policies. Kenyans, hello. So these people had self-interest before national interest. They became greedy and corrupt. Does that ring a bell? Does it? Well, leaders. I had this a conversation ongoing between national interest and public interest. Again, ask yourself, is that greed? Is that corruption you're pushing? Is it self-interest or is it a national interest? Think through, and remember, 2027 is coming, and people power is what has put President Duma in power, and you're not any exceptional. Yeah, Kenyans are tired and might just send you home based on your greed. Anyway, that's the story of Duma Boko. Let's not bring it here. It had nothing to do with Kenyans. It's just that from what Botswana has gone through, Kenya might be going through the same, or we're going through the same, and we're hoping that we can have a better country now and in the future. So yeah, tell us what you think about Botswana's president in the comment section, and you can actually tell us, as a fellow African, what's your life lesson that you've taken from Botswana? Share with us, and we will see you in the next episodes.